time and learn how to live a peaceful life with intentional mastery. Enjoy a survey of inspiring topics such as abundance, intention, health, manifestation, love, and transformation. It's all right here. Leading authors, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs with stories and messages to support your well-being, let alone your most evocative dreams.
Oh.
Hey, it's another groovy day, and that's because there's a lot of good reasons, but there's a couple of them that I really enjoy. It's because it's Life Mastery Radio Day with Todd. My name's Todd, and that's Jackie. Wave it. There's Jackie. And when I got up this morning, I decided it was going to be a groovy day before my feet even hit the floor. So I can always fall back on that. I can always think back and say, hey, you know what? I started this day out groovy. I can change that with just a thought. And then no matter what happens, whatever is going on, I can always bring it back around and keep right on trucking. Keep right on trucking. There's something you haven't heard in a while, right, Jackie?
That's correct. It's been a while.
I think I'm blasting into the past. As always, I have my co-host with me today, Jackie Bailey, and she is the, what do I want to say? The creator of Speak, Feed, Lead for kids. Tell us a little bit about it, Jackie.
Well, thank you. We are a nonprofit. It's called the Speak, Feed, Lead Project. We empower the voices of children, teens, and young people, help them to discover how they are, who they are, and how their story and experience can inspire the world. We give them the tools to deliver their message with power and recognize the value of their own worth. So we have fun with classes several days during the week and for all different age groups. So.
And that's through speech, right? That's through teaching them the power of speaking from the heart and finding that voice. It's a cool deal.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Our students always inspire us. They get to create podcasts similar to what we're doing here. And it is always exciting for one of our students who admires someone, perhaps a celebrity in their own world, and they get a chance to talk to that person in an interview situation as a guest on their podcast, just like we're going to be doing with our guest today. And I can't tell you how much confidence that builds in a young person to have to contact someone that they admire, invite them to join them, and then actually interview them. It's really exciting. Yeah.
I can just imagine. Well, that's really cool. And they can find out more at speakfeedlead.org or JackieBailey360.com. And those links will take you everywhere. And we're always looking for sponsors, looking for people to help. Some of these kids can't afford the program, but you could help sponsor a kid and get him through it. And the whole, the return on investment will last this kid a lifetime. It's just amazing.
In fact, International Women's Day is coming up on March 8th, and we are looking for sponsors for some young women ages 10 to 20 to speak on a summit that is happening for International Women's Day. And this would likely be the very first time that these young people would get a chance to speak their message on an international stage. Imagine how empowering that could be. So we're looking for sponsors for that.
Put them right on top of the world.
Yeah.
Cool school. Keep up the great work. And let's see. I want to remind listeners that today's show page is at www.lifemasteryradio.net or .com, whichever one you prefer. And any links that we talk about, we have a show page just for today's show right there. And any links to our guests, any links we talk about will be posted right there. And while you're there, checking it out, surfing around, clicking on stuff, it's a pretty cool website. Click on sign up for our newsletter. Jackie spends some time every week and creates a newsletter. And that highlights who's been on it. We have some really cool guests. Don't you think so, Jackie?
We do. And the advantage I have is that I get to go back and listen to it a second time and pull out even more nuggets than I heard the first time. so that I can prepare the blog. So it's
she creates a newsletter every week, who's been on the show, who's coming on the show, and a little blog post. Well, it's not really little either. It's a huge blog post about the show, what she got from it. And like she said, she goes back and listens to it and then gleans some nuggets for you to entice you to go and actually listen to the show. Our YouTube channel, there's over 300 shows on there, and you can find a topic just about anything that you of interest, or that might be on the forefront of your mind in thinking about it. We have some really cool stuff. So
yeah.
And while you're there, check out Jackie's book. You can see it in the background, Self-Centered
Actually,
Leadership.
right here.
Oh, there
Yeah.
she is. And of course, my book, 6 Keys to Life Mastery. It's a pretty cool little book. It's a good little read. I get more and more feedback every day. Lots of people are reading it. Lots of people, I've heard from a couple people that have been listening to the show, Jackie. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if we can make a difference in just one person's life, then that we did our job.
Well, the cool thing is that we're not just giving this message today, but because it's a podcast, they're going to be digging up our podcast 1,000 years.
It lives
from now,
forever.
right? And they're going to be going, whoa, these people were awesome.
I know, depending, I think about that sometimes, depending on how the internet's going to be in the future or whatever. I mean, my grandkids could actually Google me and find out more about this guy named Todd from a long time ago that was into life mastery stuff. So it's kind of cool.
Exactly. We're
Create
all
a
going to know
legacy.
much more about our family trees in the future than we do right now, because there's so
Isn't
much
that-
more content out there for us.
If it's, sometimes I think, can they really keep all of this stuff somewhere? Right? There's so much stuff, but
Maybe that's why we need to inhabit Mars. We can use it as a storage facility.
where you're reaching out there now. Okay. I think our guest is ready. She's sitting there with a big smile on her face. And are you ready for the show?
Yes, I'm enjoying your conversation. And hey, I'd like to sponsor one of those young women.
Oh,
Okay.
that'd be fabulous, Connie. Thank you. I'll let
There
you
you
know
go.
how to do that.
Yeah, let me know how to do it. Yeah.
This is
Okay.
this is how we connect. This is the way
That's
it
right.
works.
Yeah.
Our smiling guest today her name is Connie Huebner, and she is a leading spiritual luminary of these times. She's the founder of Divine Mother Guidance and Healing and Divine Mother Church. She communicates with Divine Mother and brings profound divine messages of healing and knowledge for many people. And the reason Connie is here today, because Connie wrote a book too. Do you have a copy of your book handy? Oh, here we go. Cue to hold it up.
We're
There
all
it is.
holding up our books today.
That's right. It's
Connie
an
has written a
exclusive
book.
club.
It's the Divine Mother Healing, which contains a series of healing tools that people can use to heal themselves and their loved ones. They are an effective, even if the words are just read out loud or repeated silently. Using these tools automatically connects you to the healing power of the Divine Mother. Hi, Connie. Welcome to the
Hi.
show. How are you today, my friend?
I'm very well. Thank you.
Jackie and I are in the Pacific
being here.
Northwest, and it's trying to snow a little bit.
Oh,
Oh, Jackie's looking surprised. It is where
It doesn't look like snow where I'm at. So
it's trying. It's trying very hard.
Right.
I got up this morning, I looked out my big bay windows, my treehouse bedroom, and there was 2 does walking around down below, and the snow was trying to snow. And
Mm.
I
beautiful.
thought, wow, this is a great day for Life Mastery Radio.
Well, I'm in the Midwest and we have got a lot of snow on the ground
Oh,
now.
right.
Yeah. We're in the Midwest. My husband was just recently in Iowa.
I'm in Iowa.
Oh, he
Yep.
said it was like being on the planet Hoth from Star Wars. It's just snow everywhere.
Yeah. We had a big snow and it was a couple weeks ago, but it's still on the ground.
Wow.
So
Yeah, you guys got hit pretty hard. And then I think there was another blast coming, or maybe that's further east, but
that was further east.
yeah.
But I hope we're not going to have another one. Crossing my fingers, it'll start warming up.
Yeah, because I think it was 15 degrees or something when he was there. I said it was really cold.
Oh yeah. We've had below zero, 5 degrees below, and it's quite brutal.
Yeah.
But we're hardy people here in the Midwest. we can deal with it.
Speaking of hardy, I listened to some of your podcasts today, and I thought one of the biggest insights that you like to share is reconnecting with our heart. But maybe we should talk about another one first, and that's self-love. Or maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let's back back the truck up a little bit and explain for us what is the Divine Mother?
Okay. So the Divine Mother she's one with the Mother, Father, God unity. There's the wholeness of the Mother, Father, God presence in the universe. And the mother aspect of that unity is coming forth now in the world to balance the human family. We've become out of balance. And we're conflicted, we're fighting with each other, we're separate, people are isolated and just not centered and balanced in themselves. And the mother is coming back now. You see the rise of the divine feminine all over the place, because the need for the qualities of the divine feminine is really crucial right now. The compassion, the love, the creativity, creativity meaning capable of birthing new ideas,
right?
New life.
That's a great way to explain it. Because it is the feminine energy. There's two sides to this coin, and there's the masculine and the feminine, and they have to be in balance. And man, Connie, I got to tell you, we are out of whack.
Right. I know that.
Yeah.
I know. And the reason I wrote this book is to empower people, because so many people are feeling disempowered, and they don't know, they're lost, they're afraid, they don't know what's going to happen the next day. And so this book I wrote with these energy healing tools is a way people can become empowered and feel like they're doing something. Even when you hear about, a war on the other part of the world, or famine somewhere, and it shrinks you. You feel so, sad, and oh no, what's happening? And when and if will that happen here? You can use these energy tools that I've collected in this book to shift it. And not only will it shift what's happening in the world, truly prayer works. And this is similar. Well, it is prayer, but because these tools, I used to call them transformational prayers. People would say, that doesn't sound like a prayer, because there's something like, they're like pouring divine light into something. Like I asked Divine Mother to pour divine light into Afghanistan, which is in dire need of light and assistance. So more light and more light we pour into Afghanistan again and again. And I'll go on for a few minutes like that. If my friend is hurting, or if I'm having a problem, I'll pour divine light into me or my friend. But that's not the only energy tool I have. I have these divine qualities that I've received from the Divine Mother. And I'll tell you how I met the Divine Mother. I was a teacher of meditation, and I have always had a spiritual bent. And so I became a teacher of meditation and started teaching people how to go within and gain the connection to their inner self. And in one of my experiences of going within, I had this perception of a brilliant light rising out of this source, the unbounded source, which is the goal of meditation, is to settle into that peace and that wholeness of the source, that unified field. So I was experiencing that unified field, and then I perceived this wave of light rise out of it. And the wave then divided into 2 waves, which then divided into 4 waves, which then started interacting with each other, and a tremendous display of light and waves, and then flows of energy and particles of energy. And it was awesome to watch. And at one point I said, and this is all within me that I'm experiencing this, I said, "Who are you?" And the answer came back, "I am the Divine Mother, and I am birthing the universe." And I thought, wow, she's giving birth to the universe. She's manifesting this.
Well, it's an ever evolving energy source, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I call them the divine feminine because of that birthing creative power that the divine feminine has.
Creation.
Now, in truth, we're all both. We have the masculine and feminine balance within us, which needs to be balanced, let alone in the outer world where there's tremendous imbalance. And so anyway, so the Divine Mother, I said, "I want to work with you." And that sort of started a relationship between us. In order to really work with the mother of the universe, I had to purify myself. There were lots of blocks I had. My heart was tight. I had tension in my throat. I couldn't always speak what I wanted to say and really express my true self. So she guided me with these tools, actually, that I got in this book, how to open my heart, how to feel confident about my true self, not just my small ego mind, which is primarily afraid and acts often out of fear, but to really connect to my true self and clear these blocks, the fears, the shame that we've collected over the years,
right.
The sense of not being good enough, being unworthy. So energy tools are just that. They're not things that you can see or touch, but they're things that you can say to move vibration. Every thought we have is a vibration. So if we're thinking a lot of negative thoughts, especially about ourselves, many people have intense self-critical thoughts all the time. But you build that in your auric field, in the space around your body. And that determines how you experience life. And if you're thinking, I can't do something, well, then you can't.
You can't.
So those heavy, dense belief systems about our own weaknesses and how we can't do something, or how we're afraid, or how we don't deserve, they need to be broken up. And so that's one of the things that these tools do. In fact, I have one is called the break command, where someone just realizes, oh, I'm bogged down by this negativity, and you start breaking it. You just say break, 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 and imagine grids and structures breaking around you in this vibrational field, or often called the auric field, around you. So you just say shatter, break, or you burst light. You imagine suns bursting, burst, 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 burst.
Wow.
And because what you think is real creates an energy, a vibration, you can create the positive or the negative. And I'm using the spiritual qualities, light, love, truth, grace, to break the heavy density that many of us have collected around us. And that the outcome is we are experiencing that heaviness and that density in the world, with people afraid and fighting and hating, all of that, which can be broken energetically.
Right.
And the other point, if I could just go on,
Sure.
is we are energy. I mean, our bodies are made of energy.
It's
and
true.
Energy is something, atoms, well, of course you can see them if you have a powerful microscope, but the atoms are made of high energy particles, the nucleus of the atoms. And those particles are everywhere. we don't see them with the naked eye. With a huge, powerful microscope, they're being able to perceive them and so on. But these particles of energy make up who we are, and we can direct those particles, the positive particles, let me say, well, even the negative ones obviously can be directed with our negative thoughts, but we can direct them to heal. And I'm not just talking about healing emotional conditions, even physical conditions, because every physical condition is its basis is energy. And if there are blocks in our system where our life force is not flowing through us, then we have to break those blocks. We have to open them up. And I really believe, and my experience has confirmed, that when someone comes to me and they have an illness, they're saying, I need help. And of course, I always recommend that they see their medical practitioners and so on, because that they're working on a different level.
Right.
So you need all the levels activated, but I'll work on the energy level to find where the block is in the system that's blocking the flow of life force that keeps those atoms and cells alive, which make up organs, and keeping them healthy, so that the illness can be cleansed and transformed.
Eradicated.
At that level.
Yeah.
Eradicated is what we really want.
It's interesting that, you talk about light, and I think what a lot of astrophysicists and a lot of physicists are finding today is the atom is mostly light, and the communication between the protons and the neurons and everything else is through light. And I just find that fascinating. And here you're bringing truth to that by, calling in the light, bringing the light. I know I used to meditate, and one of the practices was to fill myself with every breath in with the light. And it was so enlightening. I mean, it was just magical.
Because people don't realize that light is a thing. Just because you can't see it. I mean, when we turn on a light bulb, light brightness radiates from that bulb, and that brightness is filled with vibrating atoms and activities that are creating more light and really filling the entire room. We can do that by pouring light into a room. Right. Even the other thing that people don't realize is how powerful your attention and intention is. So when you say, and I always begin with, I call upon the Divine Mother, because I want the highest power in the universe to be doing this, not my small self. So I call upon the Divine Mother and the company of heaven to cleanse. What have I got? I have lots of clients working on different conditions, but relationships is one that can be improved by pouring light into their relationship. Finances can be improved. When finances are a problem, it's because there's a block. There's something stuck. It could be in your attitude. It could be your belief systems, obviously not feeling deserving of having money or wealth. But those are mental blocks. Mm-hmm. And any block can be can be broken apart.
By shining the light.
By bringing in the light. And if it's a really hard one, we'll say break or even go into the light. We'll tell them to go, tell this heavy, dense depression that people have. I mean, depression is a very heavy experience. I've dealt with a lot of people who have depression, and there's just it's like, there's a very little expression on their face. They're just heavy, and I don't know what to do. And that's chronic, really chronic depression. It's much heavier than just occasional depression that many people get. But anyway, that chronic depression is this density, heaviness. And I've worked with people with chronic depression. And we really have to go in there and break, shatter, break, go into the light, send the energies into the light. I mean, I do even wave my hands because I feel like I'm breaking up the air around me. break, shatter, break.
That's
and
fascinating. That's
yeah,
really cool.
so
That
it's
you-
all about, that's why I call it energy healing. And I work with the divine because then that's the highest level of knowledge and
Energy.
intelligence and energy. And so I don't want to deal with anything that might in any way be harmful or negative. So I'm very careful about, that's why the Divine Mother, she just wants her children to thrive. And
And it's not that hard to connect to that energy, right? Maybe talk to us a little bit about that. It's not that difficult to focus and connect to that energy. Is that right?
Yeah. You're talking about the Divine Mother energy?
Right.
Yes. And the Divine Mother, is an energy, a vibration. And there are depictions of the Divine Mother in many, all spiritual traditions. And the Divine Mother, like for example, in the Christian tradition, the Divine Mother is a historical figure, Mother Mary. And I believe that's true in Buddhism with Kuan Yin. And anyway, we could go through. And so they have, many of these divine ones have been in physical form on the planet. But now they're in subtle form, and they're still around. We can still call upon them. So I teach people how to connect and actually communicate with the divine. And I'll tell you how I do it. I teach a class so I can follow the progress of the students, every time we meet. But I'll tell you and all of your listeners what I do. So the first thing is to center in the heart, breathe into the heart. I say breathe into the heart because it just brings your attention to the heart. The lungs are on either side of the heart. So if you're breathing and you're noticing your breath, you're noticing that heart area or that heart chakra. Because the Divine Mother deals with love. Love is her specialty. And so we go to the heart, which is the organ we associate with love. And this is divine love. So we first do that. And then this usually happens after I do a clearing, a healing, so that the agitated world has been quieted down and that we're settled in a kind of quiet meditative place. Remember, I was originally a meditation teacher, so
Right. Transcendental meditation too, I believe.
That's right. So that skill hasn't left me. And but I now I'm quieting people down by using these vibrational tools. I could easily do it with meditation, but because I was, that has a certain teaching in itself, and so I do that in that context. But I'm doing the Divine Mother healing in the Divine Mother context.
It's interesting that you bring up the heart. I've been watching some of Greg Braden's most recent thoughts and ideas.
Yeah,
about the mind-heart connection, and
exactly.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and some of what the ancients thought and knew about that connection and the power that connection has, it's like, why doesn't everybody know about this?
Right. And well, it's because of the society that has repressed the heart. And if I may say so, that comes along with the repression of the divine feminine. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh no, we can't, which is the divine feminine is very much associated with love and the heart, compassion. So anyway, that's one of the huge imbalances in our world, is that the heart has been repressed. But it's coming back. People like Braden and me, hopefully, are bringing that understanding back, to bring that the heart is a necessary and important leader in our lives,
in our daily lives. Jackie, you've been so quiet. I don't know if you're sitting there patiently taking it all in, or
Oh yeah, of course. And I guess, Connie, you would probably agree with Dr. Joe Dispenza, who talks
Yeah.
about how when we have these lower vibrations, it actually creates matter. But our goal really is to have the higher vibration, which creates more energy, which is what we all want to be. We all want to have more energy than matter necessarily, because then we're
Yeah.
communicating more with that higher consciousness,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
Um,
But the
and-
physical body, which is made of matter, can be refined. Matter can be refined
yeah.
so that it can actually reflect that divinity and unify matter and spirit. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm constantly talking about in my work is
Yeah.
we are divine beings in a physical form. And we're learning how to refine our physiology to really embrace the fullness of our divinity, so that we have the advantage. On this planet, it's a material planet. We need to have a material body to interact and do what we came here to do.
Right.
So the body is necessary, but it also doesn't have to be heavy, dense, and something that weighs us down, that we have to drag around. It
Drag.
can lighten up. It can
Right.
be illuminated. So,
So when you're dealing with someone that you mentioned depression, is this something that you can also feel? Can you pick up on their energy when dealing with someone, or are you listening to the symptoms and the feelings that they're providing to you, and then you can understand what's happening there?
Well, so what I do is they come in and tell me what their issues are. And then my first process is to have us all, me and the person, or I do this for groups as well, breathing into the heart to center. And then I have something called softening, where I have the person soften we can do it a little bit now, soften in the heart. And it's a settling down process. Soften in the throat. And then I'll have soften in the brow, the third eye. I'll have them soften in all the chakra centers, the major chakra centers of the body. And that settles you down. And the softening actually expands you beyond the boundaries of the heart. So you start to get in touch with your larger self. It's not that you're going to ignore the body, because we need the body. We need to be grounded. But we can also, like you were talking about, experience our higher self, the higher vibrations of our life. And then the body doesn't feel so dense. It doesn't feel so much like a liability. It's something that's enlivened, and that and that and it increases the love and the joy that we experience as well.
Well, let's talk about that just a little bit. We talked a little bit about the heart, but there was something else that I was just fascinated with in your book and in some of the videos I was watching, and that's your thought and idea of how important it is for self-love, and how that is missing in society hugely today. And I happen to agree with you, but maybe speak to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yes. Well, unfortunately, most people don't love themselves. And I could go at this from several different angles. One of them is the idea that we are, I won't even say the idea, but the truth that we are made in the image of God. I mean, that's in almost all the scriptures that I've seen. We are made in the image of God. So that says something right there, that there's something, big about us, that expansive and beautiful, that we're not really appreciating most of the time. The other thing is this habit of negative self-talk, where we learn it even as children. I'm no good. And unfortunately, there are families who say you're stupid, and there are teachers that say, you'll never learn anything. So we learn it as we grow up I guess I'm I'm bad, I'm wrong. And the other way we get that is by making a mistake and then judging ourselves for
Yeah.
it. Like,
I heard it like this, Connie. I heard it like this. It goes, if we talk to our best friend the way that we talk to ourselves, we probably wouldn't have a best friend anymore, right?
yes, that I like that. That's so true. So so what, so one of the tools, that the exercises that I even have for people is to practice self-love. And it's not easy because we're breaking a lot of old habits. To say, even to use your own name and say, what in my case, I would say, I love you, Connie. You're a good person. And then start giving myself compliments that I would be embarrassed to say out loud. Like, you're really smart. You're, things like that.
Things a mother would say, right?
Exactly. So you don't have to say them out loud. You say them to yourself. And you'll be amazed at some people feel incredibly nourished. And at first other people feel like, no, I can't say that. It's,
They don't believe it, or they don't buy into it.
Not to say it. And we've been trained that don't be so cocky, that kind of thing. So we've been taught, and don't be arrogant, in really kind of a very put down way. But so when I have people do this, is the best time is when you're falling asleep at night, and you're sort of passing out of waking state into sleep, and you kind of go through this, what I call the gap, this space where you can accept the truth, really, the truth that you, and so just saying that to yourself as you're falling off to sleep, if you can do it every night, and when the negative thoughts come up, say to them, I love you too, because really they just want love. All of us want love. And sometimes we want it so bad and we don't get it, that we start thinking, I don't deserve love, because I'm not a nice person, and all the negativity that comes in. But when you have the negative thoughts, if you even say to those, I love you, it really diffuses them.
That's powerful.
Well, isn't it true too that, a lot of the negative thoughts we have about ourselves are coming from externally.
We're trained.
For instance, it seems like there's a lot of people that are confused even about their own gender right now, which to me is just a basic element of who we are, right? And so when we get confused about that, it's going to lead to a lot of confusion about other things too. And so maybe I'm just wondering if the argument you're making is that when we start with self-love and we can eradicate those negative things, then that's going to also allow us collectively to start allowing other people to think better about themselves, because we all have to kind of lift each other, right? It's not just one person can make a difference in their life and perhaps in the lives of those around them, but to change the planet, we all have to be more positively thinking, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely, because there's a group consciousness effect. And there's also that 100th monkey effect. When you get enough people thinking in a positive way, automatically the rest of the whole group starts to join in that way of thinking or acting. And that's what really I'd say we in the sort of spiritual thought movements are looking for. We need to get enough people coming home to themselves, honoring themselves. And when you honor yourself, you automatically honor and appreciate others. And if we
my goodness,
we reach a boiling point where everything shifts.
Oh my goodness, ladies, we only have about 7 or 8 minutes left, Connie. It's just, this time has flown by, but there's one other topic that I wanted you to speak to, and I think it's the third of all of your favorites, and that is grace. Talk to us about how important grace is in our lives.
Okay. All right.
Did I shift on you? I'm sorry. I
can shift. Grace is beautiful. It's a vibration. It's an energy that really intellectually cannot be understood. It's just, and that's why when people always talk about it was a miracle, it was divine grace. It's because when grace occurs, it's almost it is like the whole universe shifts and turns to bless you. And we don't realize that what we do in our lives is affecting the whole universe. There are laws of nature in the universe, and of course that are intelligent, that we don't see, even though the laws of nature we see are the trees and the flowers and the grass, they have intelligence. The whole universe is intelligent. And then there are higher levels of intelligence. And everything we do as a person in a physical form, because of vibration, affects the whole, affects everything else. Every negative thought, every angry thought goes out and unfortunately brings anger. And I'm trying to diffuse that all the time with these vibrational tools. But anyway, when we do, I don't want to say when we do good things, it's like when our hearts are pure, and it's more about thinking and feeling and wanting good. It's the unseen goodness that most people carry. And you see a homeless person on the street and you send a blessing to them instead of saying, oh, that terrible, dirty person. You just bless them. The more we can do that, the more grace comes to us. And we don't know how grace arrives, but it comes from us sending out light, love, truth, and believing and basically trusting that the universe is a beneficent universe, a kind universe, and that we deserve. And that part of that you learn when you practice self-love, that you do deserve love. All of us deserve love, and we deserve respect. And when you can respect yourself, again, I'm going back to the self-love. Often people say to me, how can I get a significant other? I've been alone. And the response of the Divine Mother is always, because I always ask her to answer the questions, is love yourself. When you love yourself, you create you become like a magnet. Love is as a magnet, and people will be drawn to you. And the special person will be drawn to you. But it really doesn't come from going out there and looking. It comes from looking within and loving who you are. And you draw the love, the beloved to you.
Very cool.
So,
yeah. Oh my goodness, ladies, we only have just a couple minutes. Connie, thank you so much for showing up as you today. Is there one last thing that you want to say?
Well, the thing I started to say, but I didn't get to say because we went off to another subject, is how to communicate with Divine Mother. And I'm just going to give you a little step. Settle down and then say, Divine Mother, come forth. Say it with your heart voice and just Divine Mother, come forth. And then notice what happens. She'll come forth as a vibration. You may notice a warmth. You might notice a space. You might notice a sudden trickle of joy. And then you say, are you Divine Mother? And notice what the energy does. If it expands or deepens, that means yes. That's an energy yes. If it shuts down or closes or doesn't do anything, then shutting down is a distinct no. The not doing anything is like, clear yourself up a little more. So but the vibrational yes is an expansion. The vibrational no is a contraction. So, and then just Divine Mother, what do I need to know? And then just wait, and something will come. Some message will come. And I teach people how to do this in a course called Dialogue with Divine Mother, and it's beautiful. It really gives you a friend.
And where can people find out more about that? That's on your website?
Oh yeah, divinemotheronline.net. And
divinemotheronline.net, and you can connect more with Connie.
yeah. And and of course the book.
The book.
But
Hold the book up one last time. Here, hold the book up for us.
And it's available online. It's available on Amazon.
Look how big it is. It's nice and beefy, nice and meaty.
It's a workbook.
Oh, you have a workbook too. Very cool.
I mean, the first 40 pages explain my story and how I discovered all this. And then the rest of it is how to do these vibrational tools, how anyone can be a vibrational healer, an energy healer. So
very cool.
Look at it. You can heal your friends.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Connie, for showing up as you today. Jackie, any last minute takeaways? It was kind of a quick show today.
Yeah, I'm just impressed, Connie, that everything you talk about and the power that we have truly comes from our voice. Whether we're talking to our Divine Mother, whether we're talking to ourselves or other people, it's through our voice. And that is the most important superpower perhaps we have, is the way that we.
Right. These tools are done with the use of the voice.
Yep. Yeah.
Jackie Bailey speaks. And I hope you two connect, because Jackie, we'll connect after the show. Connie, I want to thank you again for showing up as you. What a wonderful book, and what a wonderful thought and idea. And people should really reach out and connect with you and work with you, and for sure.
And meet the Divine Mother.
And meet the Divine Mother. You heard it from Connie how easy it is, and just do it. Just check it out. Oh my goodness, that's about all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope Connie will come back, because I think there's a lot more that we can talk about. And lastly, great day.
Yeah.
Oh, did I freeze?
You glitched a little bit. You're back.
Make a great day, because it's all about choice, and choose to connect with the Divine Mother. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.